News spread that the latest attempted assassin of former President Donald Trump had previously spent time in Ukraine trying to fight for the Foreign Legion against Russian forces. It came as little surprise to a lot of the foreign fighters that I know who are working and trying to repel the invasion of Russian forces in Ukraine. That is because several of them knew him and others knew his type. They told me, and I'm keeping them anonymous for fear of Russian retribution against their names, but they told me that they remember him coming up with a scheme to get Afghanistan commandos who had previously worked for the U.S. in our 20-year war there, trying to get them to come to Ukraine to join the Foreign Legion to fight because they would have had the expertise necessary to take on such a challenging opponent. Sounds great in theory. However, like I said, Routh had no military experience, and making something like that happen takes a lot of background. He told the New York Times and Semaphore that he had an idea to bring these individuals from Afghanistan through Pakistan, where he said the officials are corrupt and they could buy a passport there, bringing them then into Ukraine illegally. Now, other volunteers that I spoke to in Ukraine said this was clearly human trafficking and that no one really took him seriously. Now, it's still unclear whether or not he was ever successful in doing that measure. What is clear is that he is indicative of a certain type of individual who goes to Ukraine trying to help, but clearly had some wild plans on the side. But in reality, may be there for selfish purposes, like self-promotion or clout chasing. That's what my sources in Ukraine told me, especially when it came to the fact that he used a GoPro camera on the end of his scope when he was trying to shoot former President Trump. They said that that symbol of a GoPro has really become a signal of a clout-chasing individual in the Ukraine war. He said a lot of the volunteers that come over there with GoPro cameras try to post the images on YouTube to get famous, and that it checked out that it would be this type of person who would take an act so drastic and terrible as that.